I'm on the rooftop of the new DStv Black Star offices, formerly known as Times Media. I'll be meeting up with Ziphorah Masethe, who is a motoring journalist who grew up from Mamelodi. I just want to find out how she made it from the dusty streets of Mams to the rooftops of Johannesburg.
Don't even really believe in me. It's even worse when your friends can't see it. The bigger picture that we all want to get richer.
So Ziphorah, please just tell me more about yourself.
So I am, as you know, a girl that grew up in Mamelodi, east of Pretoria. And growing up, I was a bit of a tomboy. Yeah, so I always used to play with the guys, really, soccer and you know those wired cars, like push them around Kasi and stuff. Never got really chosen for the girls like Khati and Gusha because I was so bad. So I think that's why I gravitated more to playing with the guys and hanging with them a bit more.
Having growing up from the hood myself, you know, Ekasi, we've always wanted to be lawyers, doctors, nurses. How did you get into motoring journalism?
I think I can't remember wanting to be a doctor or a nurse or a policewoman at that. My mom is a teacher. I think she would have liked me to be that, but she didn't actually push for it. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be a news anchor, really. How motoring journalism happened is that I was sitting in a first year class and the chairperson of the South African Guild of Motoring Journalists came to one of our classes to give like a career kind of talk. And he was just giving us different avenues to look at as journalists wanting to, you know, start into the industry. And he spoke about motoring journalism, and I think most of us were just like so interested, like, wow, we've never actually thought about this thing.
Yeah.
And I was so excited. I wrote a whole motivational letter of why I should be chosen to be like the intern, and I called them up. I was literally just stalking them and just, yeah, a nuisance. But I got called for an interview, and I think I didn't know how I did, but clearly it turned out spectacular.
So as a female, what are the challenges that you have, you know, come across in a male-dominated industry? Yeah,
it definitely is very male-dominated. I mean, we go to launches and because it's such a small industry in itself, you'll go there and you might just be the only female among those, you know, motoring journalists. It's hard in a way that it's very new for me, and there hasn't been female motoring journalists, not many of them. I mean, you can really count them on one hand or something. So it's one of those, you get into the space, it's male dominated, and you're trying to find your own voice. And I think that's what I try to do as well. Especially when I'm reporting on these cars, I try to give it, what would I love reading as a female? What would I understand? And I feel like as a female coming into that space, that is actually a kind of a niche that I'm trying to, you know, fill, and just reporting for all the ladies out there, you know, this is what this car looks like, and this is how, you know, the boot space is like, and you can fit all your shoes and like all your bags and whatnot. So that's kind of the language, you know, we'll understand.
So you just told me about, you know, the factors that you had to come up with as being a female. Would you say that race and also coming from the hood has that?
Coming from Kasi, and you know how we are, we like gossiping because we don't know, we'll come up with like our own story of why that person is like this, or why that person is, or where this person works. So when they see me with like different cars almost every week, there's stories about how, you know, I've got a blesser and this guy is giving me different cars. And, you know, for those who do ask like, hey, why do you have like a different car every week? Then I'm so happy to say, hey, I'm a motoring journalist and this is what I do, and I drive this car and then I review it and people get to read it. There aren't many black people in the motoring industry as well. You can also count them because it's such a small circle. You see the same faces every time. It would be so nice to actually spread it out a bit, you know, and get more people in the industry and get more people, black people of color as well, to get their voice. I think no one can report about the stories of car culture in Bakasi as we black journalists can. You know, we come from that hood, we understand it, we know why there is that kind of culture.
So you have a test car with you today. So I want to know what it is that you look forward to in a car. So can you go check it out? So when you are test driving your car, what is it that you look out for?
So today we actually have the VW up, and I like it because it proves, especially to people who think we only drive like the flashy cars, expensive ones, you get budget buys as well. And in this kind of car, you will look for practicality. You will look for, you know, the nice things that make your life easy. So the radio functions. And what does it come with? Is it like auxiliary? Is it Bluetooth? And also the comfort. Sometimes in budget buys, the comfort is not really the best. But you know, when you get a car like this one, you also look for space, interior space. You know, how far your knees from anything that you can hit in front of you. Also the back space as well. Boot space is one thing you look out for. Because especially the up has like a whole 1-story, 2-story thing that I really like. You open it and you think it's small, but there's like, surprise, I've got more space.
Yeah, because I was so shocked. I was like, is this it?
Exactly.
Like, no girl, surprise.
Yeah, so there's more, you look out for those things. And then also, especially with smaller cars, you get a rear window that is so small, so you can't really see a whole view of what is going on behind you. So you look out for those things as well.
So tell me this, my lady, which car has been the best car to review by far? This I have to know. I know.
So I've always loved the Mustang, the Ford Mustang. And when I finally got to drive it, I was just like, I'm fulfilling a lifelong dream. I was so excited. And you know what? It wasn't the best drive, but just fulfilling that thing that says, you know, I've driven the car I've always wanted to drive. I loved it. It looks gorgeous. And I was really excited. And another one is the Alfa Romeo 4C, which is a beast. I mean, you listen to that car and you just get the heebie-jeebies. So I was around a racetrack and I was going so fast and I was just like, bucket list.
I'm so jealous right now.
Loved it.
Thank you so much for joining us. I might just get into motoring journalism myself so that I can get the perks.
Can you? We need
But
more girl power.
Yes.